All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to take you guys inside the ropes of the professional wrestling, the squared circle. Some of the biggest sports phenomenons and sports spectacle that has happened has been within the professional wrestling industry. So I'm here to kind of help you guys, go through that. Obviously, hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. If, obviously anything's greatly appreciated, but more or less, I just love a lot of engagement inside this podcast. It's not my podcast, it's our podcast. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We talked about our WWE SummerSlam, our WWE SmackDown review, our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about Triple H's birthday and the legacy that he left for WWE fans, especially becoming CEO of WWE when Vince McMahon had to step down thanks to the Janelle Grant sexual assault allegations and stuff like that. He's done nothing but great things. And then we talked about Bianca Belair's most embarrassing moment in her career was at SummerSlam 2021, where she lost to Becky Lynch in 26 seconds. So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about Long Live the King, Long Live the Queen, excuse me. And I know we rapidly running out of time. I got my boy Emran, his GSMC soccer podcast started at 9:30, so I will be brief. So let's go ahead and dig on into the subject matter. So we're going to talk about some Charlotte Flair. So Charlotte Flair, the star, has been off WWE for a pretty good minute, to be honest. I don't remember the last time of course I remember the last time I seen her, but not one of those superstars that, she comes off so hot. She comes off, she has all the accomplishments and accolades. And when she walks into an arena, it's like, damn, like, that she's going to cause some damage and stuff like that. And automatically, main event Carter right there. So, haven't seen Charlotte Flair on the scene for a little while. She returned to the squared circle amid her absence from TV due to an injury. The Queen shared a video on social media from the Performance Center, her training, taking bumps in the ring, doing top rope moves and stuff like that. Possibly, could this be a potential tease for a return at WWE SummerSlam coming up on Saturday? 1,010% could be. It's a little miss, and I'm not too sure if it's, obviously there's still a lot of speculations in terms of returning injuries. Like we're waiting for Asuka to come back. We're waiting for Cruz del Toro to come back. He should be coming back tonight on Monday Night Raw. Also, when CM Punk and Drew McIntyre got medically cleared, I feel like it kind of took CM Punk a little while to get cleared there. I don't know why. Obviously, yeah, I guess I do. He's getting a little older, but I don't like to use that phrase because there's still people like Dustin Rhodes, people like John Cena, Kurt Angle, who, come out. Ric Flair wrestled until he was 75 years old, I believe. Her father. So, it's kind of crazy to kind of put a time limit in terms of professional wrestling. So, Charlotte Flair, she sustained multiple injuries due to her match with Asuka in December of last year. The 38-year-old tore her ACL, she tore her MCL, and also her meniscus. She's a former champion. She underwent surgery in January. Her father, Ric Flair, obviously, like a father does, has nothing but high praises for his amazing, successful daughter. On an appearance with the Casual Conversations podcast, he referred to her as the best worker inside professional wrestling. So, kind of crazy, but obviously, when I would be the same way if my daughter was wrestling. Hell yeah, I'd be like, "All you guys suck. She's the best." No, I'm just kidding. No, gotta respect the wrestlers and stuff like that. He also said that she was gonna become as famous as Serena Williams one day in the sports world, and I kind of buy it, but on Sports Center, you don't really see WWE Women's Champions, but still, to the prestige. Hell yeah, she deserves that kind of attention. He said, and I quote, her returning to, would be the best possible storyline in terms of professional wrestling. Ric Flair, he obviously has a huge desire for his daughter to go out there and do bigger and better things, but nothing's bigger than the WWE. Ric Flair has recently been rumored with the contract with All Elite Wrestling, but it's the professional wrestling industry right now is something that I have never seen before. And I've been a professional wrestling fan my whole entire life. Obviously, started with WWF, watching it on UPN on SmackDown because I couldn't afford cable and watch all the highlights of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. And I started watching WCW when I actually did get cable. But then, and then I kind of fell out of love with wrestling for a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Didn't really take until I met my wife right now till like she kind of reintroduced me to wrestling. That's why that 2016, 2017 of wrestling with the broken up shield of Roman Reigns and also Dean Ambrose. You also have Seth Rollins, and then you have Brock Lesnar, and it's just that kind of wrestling just made me fall in love with it once again. So this now we're into another era. We're into another era of the Paul Levesque era. Obviously, Triple H taking over the Vince McMahon after the Janelle Grant sexual trafficking allegations and stuff like that. So I think under the Paul Levesque era, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for Charlotte Flair, 1,010%. But she definitely has, and it's been reported that she has a desire to reclaim her throne. So obviously, once again, you have Raw moving to Netflix in January. WWE once again is moving from PG-13 to about PG. So I don't think they're going to get too crazy. They're not going to make it like, rated R or anything like that. But 1,010%, you're going to see WWE Raw. Netflix also, made it pretty clear in the contract that, for us to accept the Monday Night Raw to move to Netflix, something that has been prominent in terms of international movies, Netflix was like the jumping off point in terms of streaming services. Like there was Netflix, and then there was Hulu, then of course there's HBO Max. I feel like Netflix kind of started it all. Like I could be wrong, but Netflix has definitely been a staple in terms of streaming services. So when they accumulate professional wrestling industry, and I know right now Roku TV, they're looking for potential like a wrestling outlet as well. I know HBO Max has All Elite Wrestling, also Ring of Honor, New Japan Professional Wrestling, and the CMLL as well. So there could be a lot of things, especially heading toward Netflix. But Netflix wants a big star. They want the biggest star. Imagine Charlotte Flair in the women's division on Monday Night Raw, and imagine someone like Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns starting absolutely fresh in terms of Monday Night Raw. I think it would get great ratings. So, stars that shine bright, obviously, under Flair's absence. And it just makes me think, once again, we're going to kind of reiterate on the WWE Women's United States Championship, also Intercontinental Championship, because all these women that shined when Charlotte Flair was kind of missed. Also, you had Bianca Belair in the women's tag team division. So it could be pretty funny. WWE at the same time, they have to be super careful not to break down any momentum that a WWE Women's Division superstar should have. That's why a good mid card belt would be honestly, that's what you have to do sooner rather than later. So honestly, yeah. Well, guys, that was my show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, and remember to follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook for more content and updates. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, just wanted to alert you guys that we do have college football right around the corner with my boy Tommy, the GSMC College Football Podcast. We also have the NFL right around the corner, the Chip Shot Football Podcast with my boy Manny, the GSMC Football Podcast with Kenneth. Find out all your things in terms of football. So when football comes back around, the college football, the NFL, you're going to want to look up some fantasy sports. I have my boy Chris Shepard on the GSMC Fantasy Sports, tucking all your sit-ems, all your stardoms, all your draftums, all your, let's avoid these guys because, they're kind of aging and we don't want to sign them. I actually drafted Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers last year, and he started off really well, but thanks to his age, got injured and absolutely effed up my roster. It was terrible. I gotta be honest. And luckily I picked up like somebody like, no, I didn't know. It wasn't, who's the, It was another Raiders running back that I can't really name right now. And it's not my fault because the Raiders aren't really prominent in terms of the NFL. I'm just kidding. No. We also have the Andrew Tate podcast. We also have TJ and Jeremy talking about all things professional sports on the GSMC Sports Podcast and Sports by GSMC. Like I said, I got my boy Emran with the soccer podcast right. And that one in about 17 minutes. So it's still tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. We got my boy Sam with baseball and my boy Nelson on basketball. All right. So once again, thank you guys so much. Definitely love seeing you guys. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. It's Monday, so let's endure this Monday through Friday, this grueling week of work together. Watch the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time on the GSMC Sports Network. So, hey, until then, good night, good luck, and hey, stay beautiful.